Secrets whispered on the digital waves. See the living history on the screen. Old melodies igniting the spark. Transported photos full of stories.
Where'd you get the idea for that?
It was with one of the guys who played bass on some of the tracks. Was just sitting with me as I was overdubbing something. And we were talking about something, I don't know. And he said texture, and at the same time I said extra, and that was it. It just became one of those, the flow, you know, the words extra texture. At the time it seemed funny, extra texture. Read all about it. It was going to be called Oh Not Him Again, which is actually the subtitle.
Who are the musicians you've worked with on this album?
There's quite a lot. The basic musicians, that is the ones who played on most tracks, is Jim Keltner again, the drummer. Klaus Vormann played bass on a few tracks, and this other guy called Paul Stallworth played bass on some of the other tracks. I played bass synthesizer on a few. Then a piano player who's quite new around Los Angeles. He's actually from Vancouver, a guy called David Foster, very young guy. He did the string arrangements also. He is in another band with Jim Keltner and this bass player Paul called Attitudes. And Leon played piano on, there's one old track that Leon played piano and a new track that he played, Leon Russell. The tracks that have horns, there's only about 2 tracks with horns. That's Tommy Scott and Chuck Finley. They played 2 parts each. And who else? Oh, Gary Wright. He plays organ and various keyboard things. And that's about it. Actually, there's one track, this old track, which is You, called You, and I actually did the basic track about 1971, and that's the one with Leon, Carl Radel, who's now the bass player with Eric Clapton. He was with Derek and the Dominos, and Jim Gordon, who used to be the Derek and the Dominos drummer.
This is the one you've chosen for the single.
Yeah, that one just seemed the most instant, you know. Most people in California, you know, just thought that was the most obvious one, so that's the one it'll be, the first one. I originally wrote that. There was one time I was working with Phil Spector, and it's around the All Things Must Pass period, and we're trying to do an album with his wife. Well, at that time it was his wife. It's interesting, actually, because I've just been thinking so much about Ronnie Spector because of this song. I wrote the song specifically for her. And what happened was, at that time, Phil, we put down about 6 tracks, and then all we did was finished one as a single and put that out, and then we never got around to doing the album for some reason. But that song I wrote particularly in the Ronette sort of flavor, and what happened was I just suddenly remembered I had this track, and it was such a good backing track. So I decided that I'd resurrect it and finish it off, because it was only just a basic track. And the song, actually, when I came to sing, it was so high. I thought, well, my voice has been dropping over the years, going lower, but I couldn't believe how high it was. Then I realized the key I wrote it in, I'd put it up about 3 tones for Ronnie to sing, and then suddenly found myself trying to sing it. It's really high.
All the answers at the end, and this is the one where you often say during the course of the song that we hurt the ones we love, we hurt the ones we need.
Yeah, it's like the modern version of you always hurt the one you love, the one you shouldn't hurt at all. It actually came from there's this sort of Victorian thing written on the wall of the house I live in. In fact, I get a lot of songs off the wall. Or a lot of my songs are off the wall. Anyway, this was, I think it's an old Victorian poem or something. It said, "Scan not a friend with a microscopic glass. You know his faults, let the foibles pass. Life is an enigma, true my friend. Read on, the answer's at the end." So that always stuck in my mind. It seemed like a song to me, and it ended up as one.
Can't Keep From Crying almost sounds like one of my guitar.
It's Son of Guitar Gently Weeps. Yeah, that one is, I think, I decided to write that song because of the popularity of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. It was really just like, it's a cheap excuse to play a bit of guitar. And that song, Guitar Gently Weeps, was actually more popular than I realized. That was the one song particularly that went down very well, and it seems to be in quite a popular one of my songs or of the old Beatles albums. So I just thought I'll write another one, Son of.
It also seems to have more of a dance beat than some of your other songs, and the drum.
Yeah, that's Keltner. Jim Keltner's amazing the way, it's like what he doesn't do. He's really great at leaving space. In that one, really all he does is a backbeat on the snare and the tom-tom at the same time, and it's just a sort of, that pulse, that's all. He just leaves a lot of gaps, but it's a nice dance tune.
Called Ooh Baby, and I'm told this is to Smokey Robinson, who did Ooh Baby Baby. Is that right?
Yeah. I just, over 10 years or so, I just realized that one of my favorite singers has been Smokey Robinson as a songwriter also. He's been, for my taste, one of the most consistent, and he's written so many fantastic tunes. And although I'm not anywhere in his league, as a singer, this song always reminds me of that Smokey type of mood. So I dedicate the song to him.
The first side of the album is called World of Stone.
Yeah, I wrote that a couple of years ago and only just got round to recording it. There's not much of a story to it, really, other than
there's a line in it that says, so far away from home.
Yeah, it's wise men you won't be to follow the likes of me in this world made of stone. It's really just down to saying that everybody has their own opinion and right to be. That's really all. It's a nice melody.
With literally a bit more of you, and then we get into what is one of the songs I like a lot, called Can't Stop Thinking About You.
Yeah, that one I wrote at Christmas time 2 years ago also, and I was just sitting around the log fire. That song could be, I always hear somebody like Joe Cocker singing that one. It's a very commercial sort of song.
Do you welcome...
It's also a bit like the middle part kills me. It's like, I don't know what it is, I have this tendency to write sort of dramatic or melodramatic melodies. And that one, it's like there's a song on Material World also, which always makes me think it should be sung by somebody like either Al Jolson or Mario Lanza. It's a funny, interesting melody.
The vocal on this one almost reminded me at first of some of Bob Dylan's things.
In that track?
The beginning.
Oh, that's my impersonation of John Lennon. Yeah, it was hard to sing that first chorus, I tell you.
Comes at a funny time almost, because there's just been a hit by Melissa Manchester.
Yeah, well, this was actually, I wrote the song. Sometimes I just think of titles and write them down with a paper, and then sometimes get round to writing a song about it. I always thought of Midnight Blue as a good title. So I wrote the song, and about 3 weeks after I recorded it, Melissa Manchester came out, so this is now called Tired of Midnight Blue. This is a story of, those nights you go out and wish you hadn't. It's one of those. Evidently, Leon Russell on piano is fantastic on that track.
You mentioned that Leon's appearance on You, cut in 1971.
Yeah.
Was that intended originally for Material World?
No, that was the song that was intended for Ronnie Spector. And
Right.
It just happened that they were all in town. We did about 6 tracks, but that one Well, we only used one of the tracks, and the rest have just been lying about.
I notice in this part of the album, particularly, and on the Ooh Baby as well, there's a mellow feel.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of spaces, you know. It doesn't have a lot of things going on. In fact, I deliberately just left spaces, so most people can imagine their own sax parts or guitar parts.
This is a change, for example, from, say, Ding Dong, as well as from your Spectre days, because you had a lot of noise going on.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people don't like a lot of things going on. It just depends. If you do something simple, they want to hear the big sound. If you do a big sound, they want to hear it simple. I mean, I suppose ideally, sometime I just get round to doing an album without any backing, you know, just with acoustic guitars or something.
We get to a song now called Grey Cloudy Lies.
That's one of those depressing 4 o'clock in the morning sort of songs. It's really, sometimes I don't know where these songs come from half the time. That one was a piano song. Sometimes I write on the piano. I can't play the piano, you see, so I'll play certain chords and things on the piano which I probably wouldn't bother with on the guitar because I know them too well, and they always sound different on the piano. But this one was written on the piano, and it's just something, it's mainly a sort of the rhythmic thing about it that got me. You know, it tends to miss beats every so often. And I think it was just one of those songs after talking for a lot, you know. Sometimes it's nice to be quiet. That's a song about, you know, I don't know if you caught the words. I thought to close my mouth, the padlock on the night, leave the battlefield behind me, stay out the fight, not lose my sight.
This is the album which I really couldn't understand the lyrics at first.
Even if you see them written down, you still don't understand them. It's the craziest song, both lyrically and musically. And the story on this song, it's called, his name is Legs, ladies and gentlemen. And it's, well, the English people may know more about Legs than Americans. It's actually Legs Larry Smith, who was the drummer with the Bonzo Dog Doodah band. And he's a very nice person who's very eccentric. I'm very partial to eccentrics. Anyway, I met him I think it was also 2 years ago. A lot happened that Christmas. I had this piano by the fire, and I just met Larry, kept coming and going, and he just amazed me, you know, all the things he was saying, so I decided to write a song about him. So the lyrics are just crazy, you know, just like Larry, actually. Everything is dinky-doo, everything that you do, you the king of la-di-da, pretty very out far. Never oversits, he understands like the back of the hand. Should sing in a band. And he sings the first part of each bridge. Coolies sweating in Hong Kong run along to the Mardi Gras, risking Asian flu to meet the man who lays the eggs. His name is Legs.
Did you deliberately mix this track so that it's hard to understand?
On that one, it's, well, Larry, you see, when I got him to sing the bridge, I've never seen him since then, incidentally, you see. So I just told him, look, I've got this song, and it was only the basic track at that time of this song. I want him to sing these lines in each bridge. So I gave him the words, and he just went out and sort of did 2 takes of it, and then in the solo, and at the end, he just talks and says all these sort of silly jokes. And listening to this dialogue that he says, listening to it really loud and over, it just gets a bit boring. I mean, only, you know, for everybody. I think once you've heard the jokes a few times, then there's not much fun. So I decided to put them both in at the same time and just mix them down so people have to strain with headphones to hear what it is.